Hello, and welcome to this final session of Apocalypse Keys Till We Have Faces. My name is Lowell, pronouns he, him. Over the weekend, I finally got my physical copy of the book with the USB key. It has Doom written on it, little mystery pads. Can't see because it's so white. But they have booklets for each of the playbooks that have all of the moves and advice and things like that. It's super pretty.
Can we
Only
just
useful really for
pause
face to
now?
face,
I'll
but
I'll fly out so we can
yes.
use those materials right now.
uh
Did you
it's
get the collector's edition cover?
yeah, that I got the Omen, whatever the Omen one was, the black one. Yeah.
What does that look like?
Oh, that's what it looks like. Oh,
Ooh,
it's nice.
pretty.
As I told Alan on Sunday, it has this beautiful thing where this opens up really wide on the front spine, like very nicely. But the back spine is a little bit tighter. Like it lays open really well. Plus, the index has the terms. So when you go to look up, like, okay, what does this condition mean? Or what does this play mean? It has the page numbers, but also it like gives a little blurb about what it is. It's like what Pelgrane Press did with 13th Age. It's really lovely. It's a beautiful book, and I'm just super excited to have it in hand as I run the last session of these two series. So there we go. So this is the final session of the final mystery. So I definitely want to give us enough time to let things breathe. It means there's a little more weight on that final roll, on that final mystery. There's a little more pressure there, which we'll come back to. We are doing the Company of Gentry. We have 5 facets right now, including the one that was added last time. So it's the Inaccessible Magic, the Rebirthing Ritual, the Harbinger, the Door of Power, and then we have 8 keys so far. We have a difficulty of 8, so right now we're rolling at a 0. Ideally, we want to get a handful more, 3 or 4 more, to round that out before we kind of go to the finale and unlocking that door. I particularly, as I said at the end of last session, I want to make sure we give Egther at the start a chance to think about like how you want to grasp for a key here, because we didn't really have a chance for you to do that last time. We have in our active mystery notes, we have some sort of on that column beside our keys, we have some notes on things that have happened. I added a couple of details into there that kind of provide the context when we go to opening that door of power. I will talk about the 4th tick on the doomsday clock in a moment, but what I want to do is go around and do check in with everybody and see if anybody bought anything, ruin or XP wise, or start of session moves there. So Iceling, let's start with you. Did you get anything ruin or XP advance last time? You are muted.
See, no, I didn't get anything XP wise.
Okay. And you don't have any start of session, do you?
No.
Okay. Then Egther, did you get anything? Okay.
Nope.
You don't have a starter session.
No,
Okay.
no.
This makes it so easy. Serial, what about you?
I didn't get anything, and I don't have a start session move, but I would like a flashback.
Okay. Do you want to do that right now?
Well, oh yeah, by all means. It's just that it occurred to me after we'd finished that I'd gone a long way to reveal my heart to Gazamak in the pub.
Sure. Do you want to make that roll right now?
I will burn my remaining darkness tokens and roll 2d6. So 2d6 plus 1. Oh, that's 11.
That is 11.
Do I want to push it that far? Let's see. What does 11 do? No, I want to stick in safe country at this point in the session, so I will burn a bond with Gazamak to bring that down
Okay.
to a 10.
And what is it you want from them? What is it you want to choose for your result there?
Well, I think that Gazamak taught me something important, and that is that he is prepared to consider a rapprochement, because he told me that the next time we meet, he will shake my hand.
That seems like a reasonable thing.
And I will therefore mark XP.
Then let's then come back. Lissa, I know you have a starter session. Do you have any other changes?
Not yet.
Okay. Anything that you want to do with your starter session move here?
Egther, are you okay with being my heart one last time?
Oh yeah.
So last time there were some decisions made about the potential futures for Egther and Lissa.
Yeah.
So that is out there. Now, do you have another starter session move?
I do. The Devil's Advocate.
Okay.
Special relationship with a mentor, someone ancient and terrifying who wears human skin. I thought it was my teacher, Ms. Rickler, but it's actually Gazamak in disguise.
Absolutely.
Pesky gods. So I will spend 3 darkness tokens and make that roll. Boxcars plus 3 is 15.
Okay. Flashback.
Moment when my mentor expressed disappointment, which, is kind of a theme. Like, I think everybody's been disappointed with Lissa at some point or another. So the one that I will take from above is declaring an irrevocable truth about the mystery.
Okay. So
And
you can rewrite or add a facet to the mystery that reveals this truth.
yes. Alan, I'm going to ask you a question real quick. What is another ancient location in the UK besides Stonehenge where the ferry might be, or the Fay Company might be entering the world?
At the risk of stealing from another game, Dragon Hill in the Vale of the White Horse.
Okay. So the fact that I would like to declare is that is where the Fae are entering from.
So are you saying that's the door of power?
I'm
something else.
You know what? Let's go ahead and say that's the door of power.
Okay. All right.
Or that's where it's located.
Yeah. Let me merge cells, and I'm going to write that truth beside it. Door of power is located at Dragon Hill. Perfect.
And due to that disappointment, I'm going to bargain with the Harbinger within me to gain power, and I will mark 1 ruin. And I think what that power looks like is that the angelic form of fury and beauty is now permanently, it's permanent. It's visible to everyone, and it's not something that I can hide. And it's basically giant wings, hair that floats of its own accord, whether there's wind or not. And eyes that are basically jet black and have kind of a cosmic sparkle around them. It looks like they're in a nebula almost.
So what is the disappointment there? Like, what was the situation? Because right now we know what you got out of it.
Ms.
What way
Rickler
we get to that?
Was pushing me to use my powers in what I thought was an unethical way. she wanted me to basically use them to hurt, not harm, some other students. That just, it was a fraternity party, and she claimed to have had a bad experience at that fraternity some time back, and she wanted me to basically collapse the house in upon itself, not to kill anyone, but they'd have to recover both financially and physically from it. There'd be broken legs, broken arms, rehab periods, etc. And I refused to do it. And she called me weak and spineless and gutless, cowardly.
Okay.
And remembering that, my rage kind of emerges and alters my form. And this is what I look like now.
So you're saying this just happened recently?
No, this would have happened a long time ago, but it's something that I'd kind of blocked out. It was the last time that I spoke with Ms. Rickler because of what she was demanding.
Okay. So I've mentioned before about the keys that we have on the table, where we are with that. One of the things, there are a couple of things that will come up. You had some chats and talks, characters interacting. There are a couple of things that you will pick up in the kind of background of things. One of them is, overheard on the television at the pub, as the four of you are there kind of finishing up your talk. You'll hear some politicians talking about the dangers of TikTok, and that they represent like a real problem and a real threat. And they go, it is a vector for unhealthy obsessional cults. In particular, look at this cult associated with this figure Suriel, the danger that he poses here, and they are very much Fox Newsing that up about the danger of this rising youth cult spreading through social media here, and that is on the stations. But the other thing is that you'll hear, and you will like see people talking in the pub, and then like voices get louder and people go kind of outside, and you will see, as you go on the street here, there are various trees, for plantings and kind of flower boxes as usual, side street things. And you will see that everything has bloomed. Every flower, leaf thing has bloomed. It's like it's still that kind of like early cold spring, but this is warm spring that has bloomed. And you can see, as you kind of look down the road in either direction, that this has happened everywhere. And like when you go back inside, they're breaking in on the news here for British television. BBC is on about this weird flowering event that is occurring across the nation. So that is our fourth tick on that clock.
If it's okay with you, Lowell, I
Yeah.
think that that's the obvious fictional positioning for me to try to honor my honorary human status. Describe how you compromise in a significant way to please the public. I think I have to go online and declare that this scurrilous rumor, take no notice, Britgaths, all is well.
So are you, is that torn between? Is that power through darkness? Like, what are you doing here to do this?
Well, I suppose I'm I don't use it enough because I'm supposed to do this every scene.
Yes.
So I think that I am taking a sufficient risk here for it to be to enforce my will on someone physically, socially, or emotionally. So I think it's Unleash the Dark.
Okay.
And I will roll with the 0 I have
All right.
and get a 4. Now,
That would
I think
require
that a
4
desperate,
bonds.
yeah, exactly, and that's too big a price. So I'm going to hand you a 7 minus. Remember that when it matters.
I think you will see a news break-in on this on the talk that we're just discussing blah 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 blah. British UK officials have issued a warrant for the arrest and internment of the dangerous figure known as Serial, a lead cultist here who is apparently present in the UK. Currently, officials are trying to track down Serial. We have information that he and a number of associates from a rogue US Trumpist organization called Division are present here in the UK. We'll bring you more on that situation as it develops.
I press my, pull the skinhead and say, we're fine. Don't worry. It'll be great. I don't look like me.
So let's come to you, Egther, to see what you are doing, either while this is happening or afterwards. If you want to drag someone along with you, if you want to bring the whole group, you have some leads in particular. You had kind of tracked down some stuff about Hearn and other things last time. So what would you like to do?
I had a wish last session to use my Humanity Was a Dream move, and I think this might be a good time for it.
Seems appropriate.
And I think this would be with Lissa at this point. So, because we were all 4 at the pub, right?
Right.
So I think when all of this is playing out on the news, I think I will look to Lissa and kind of just nod towards the door, and Suriel is on his phone and all of that stuff, and kind of just
and you notice that Lissa is glowing now.
Yeah.
There are people in the pub starting to turn and look at her.
Can I sidle up to Lissa? Because the Fey disguise is me and somebody else.
Do you want to put that on Lissa?
I want to kind of get up close to Lissa so she becomes the second skinhead.
Okay, so that's sort of hidden away. We'll say that you can drop
that. Do you
know
you're glowing?
Yeah. Kind of drop that on her as she's taking Egther to speak privately. So Egther, you draw Lissa outside. She looks like a female skinhead right now.
Got one of those Skinbird Chelsea haircuts.
And I think perhaps we have already made plans in the pub for where we're going to go with our various things. This is kind of just an isolated
Sure.
thing. And I imagine us walking along the street with all these blooming trees and all of that stuff. And it's clear that Egther needs to speak about something, but it's taking him some time to get to it. I'm going to read a bit from the move just to make it clear what's going on. So this is when you would reveal your heart to a PC or an NPC who can become a harbinger. You may instead choose to describe why you are destined to become a harbinger and how this makes you afraid. And I think this is Egther making sure that Lissa knows what she's getting into when she promises to follow him. That I will spend my time watching over the tombs of my people and perhaps search for them in the worlds beyond. But if I do not find them, it's quite possible that I will turn back to this earth and try to find a way to sacrifice humanity to bring my people back.
And I'll look up at you because I figure you're probably taller than I am by a good measure, but still noticeably within human ranges, just like maybe a really tall person.
Yeah.
Say, Egther, I'm tired of having to hide who I am and what I can do just to make everyone around me feel content with their mediocrity, with their fears, their bitterness, their plainness. I can do extraordinary things, and I'm tired of having to keep that concealed just so people can go on about their days watching TV and eating shitty food, just waiting to die. But like I said, I will go with you. And like I told you before, once already, you think you're going to become a harbinger at some point? And with this, I'll stand up on tiptoes and kiss you, if you're okay with that. And say, I already told you. I will fall before you do. And I am using, let me scroll up to find out which one it is. The blood of my covenant.
Mm-hmm.
And I am whispering to the harbinger within you, promising that I will fall to ruin first. I will erase your ruin marks and transfer them to my own track.
I currently have 2 runes.
I know, and that gets me up to 4. I only need 3 more.
Is there anything else that occurs as a result of that move?
Let me see. I don't think so.
Okay. So we resolve that.
Yeah.
That move to transfer. Let's resolve the rest of Egther's move then.
Mhm.
So Egther, that clears, but you'll mark 1 ruin now.
Yeah. Because if you do mark 1 ruin and the harbinger within you stirs and reaches out to the other person, bringing your hearts far closer than any confession ever could. Choose 2. Then I think I will go for. You don't have any conditions you can clear, right?
Lisa?
Apparently not, which is kind of surprising to me. I thought I usually have vicious mark.
Yeah, me as well. But you're.
Oh wait, it got cleared. That's what's going on. There's no box next to it.
Yeah, that's weird. Did you accidentally erase it? Oh,
could be. I pasted it back. So
cool. Then I will go for.
I'd like to keep that condition checked, though.
Sorry.
I'd like to keep that condition checked, though, because
Cool,
that will be surreal and generate darkness tokens.
Then I will pick the other 2. Reveal a beautiful shared memory. You both gain 2 bonds with each other, bonds on each other, and I think this is from our previous romance, like before the series. think we were up in the mountains somewhere, like in the Alps, maybe, high up in the mountains, like a mountain meadow, looking out over the world below us, just the two of us.
It was so peaceful without people.
Yes. I feel comfortable with you the way I do not feel with, and I think he catches himself and just says, with humans. And then I will reveal a painful shared memory, and we will both mark XP. I'm not sure what that would be.
Oh, I can tell you.
Yeah.
It's when we realized that the relationship wasn't working.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even like it was a fight. It was just there's just no spark.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, I think. Yeah, sorry.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I think I was too focused on trying to fulfill my obligation to division in order to keep myself in check.
Mm-hmm.
That was my part of it.
I think that I was probably this is probably not long after I joined Division. And I was just tired of all the paperwork and the bureaucracy, and watching you try to do all that stuff was just really, really sad for me. I mean, you have all these powers and you're just buried in all of this nonsense, these rules, these orders, these forms. And I just wanted to run off and be free. Go back to that window and just kind of live there.
Lissa, you now have a choice because the harbinger between you, each of your harbingers kind of resonate with one another. You can mark one ruin to choose one of the results, which I'm going to assume you will do. And the choices are reveal a hope that you have for him and you cure a condition, talk about the old times to help them believe in the dream of your humanity. You both are XP, or promise never to abandon him. Edgar can then erase that one ruin that he got, and you can take that on.
Oh, I'm going to promise never to abandon.
Okay, so mark 2 ruin.
Mark 2 ruin. Okay.
Yeah, because you one to do it, and then one to get Edgar's ruin.
Okay. So that leaves me with. Tell me about this ruin condition. Is that what those 2 blanks are for on the under?
Yes.
Okay. I will take a ruin condition.
Okay.
And is there a list of those, or is that free form?
Let me see what we have for those. Let me look up real quick.
The impression when I read the rules was that this, something relevant to the circumstances in which it comes up.
Yeah. Basically, I think maybe something you can come up with a ruin that represents, your obsessive tie, if you wanted to paint it in a negative way, or your passion in a positive way. It's just a condition that is on you that comes about from this fall.
I feel like lovelorn would be an appropriate one.
That seems right.
Like, because we wanted it to work and it just couldn't.
Yeah. And I think effectively you both have promised to not abandon each other. I think that feels right there. So yeah, put that in after you mark that ruin. Iceling, I want to come to you. You were there. You had a drink. with them, and you're still a little young on that. Didn't you have like a cola last time?
Yeah, I got soda.
Okay. And I do think there is this bit where you see this stuff popping up on the news. Surreal called out the Brits, this weird British blooming that's going on, and Surreal, like as a persona non grata, an illegal person in Great Britain, which already has a real negative attitude towards monsters. They haven't identified any of Surreal's cohorts like you, but clearly tensions are heightened, and you've still got this mystery to solve. So
Yeah.
what is it you want to do?
First of all, I want to clear out a few things with Surreal. Guess
Okay.
now that he's the wanted person, he may listen to me a bit or something. Hey, so first, like, I should like citizen arrest you or something, but I'm not doing that. Just so that for that to be clear between you and me.
Well, I mean, in fairness, you are not a citizen of the United Kingdom, so I think you'd be.
In fairness, I am.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
Oh, then I hadn't picked that up.
Yeah,
I'm
he was
now
actually
really worried.
appeared in Ireland and has Irish.
Belfast. No,
Yeah,
Belfast.
Belfast,
Northern
sorry.
Ireland.
Yeah.
So I'm, citizen of UK.
So yeah, no, that's a relief then, Ailing. A huge relief that I'm safe in your hands.
Yes. Also, the second thing, like I kind of, when we talk with Black Annis, I kind of recruited her to, sell the information to Division, and then I promised her some blood. So I hope that's okay.
So just rewind that for me. So you recruited someone into Division.
Yes, as a
look,
source
look.
of information.
Yeah, that's fine. Just forget it. She's irrelevant. Forget it.
Well, I don't want to like.
We'll go home. Job done. She's stuck wherever she is. Don't worry about it. Just forget it.
No,
you did what you had to do, Ailing. It happens.
But she knows, important stuff. I think she could be useful.
Well, in which case we go back to her some other time. Once they're on the hook, they stay on the hook.
Well, I need someone to arrange, to bring her the blood when we get back. That I promised.
Yeah. Don't worry. Leave that with me. I'll deal with it. But, for now, just imagine it never happened.
Ryan, but like...
Eye on the prize, Ailing.
Are you trying to steal my accomplishments?
No, I'm trying to save you, Ailing, because if we go back to Division and in our debrief, it comes out that you chose to recruit someone to Division.
Yeah.
You're screwed. And you've barely begun.
But she's useful.
Time will tell, but we've got what we need from her right now. That's all that matters. Just forget her. Right? She's just another tool. They all are. It's a tough life in Division. You've got to come to terms with it. This is what we do. This is what we are.
But maybe that's what you do.
Well, in this circumstance, I think I'm senior officer on site.
Well, yeah, because you've been with Division longer than me.
And your time will come. One day you'll thank me for this, because you'll find yourself saying this same thing to some other newbie. It's a learning experience, kid.
They roll my eyes.
I think I just asked you to betray Black Annis, so I'm going to take 4 darkness tokens. As well as offering good advice, frankly.
Aisling, do you feel like, have you been cut off? I know you've got a thing that you gain darkness tokens for kind of feeling
I feel abandoned. Yeah, I'm just thinking about it. Yeah.
You want to take a couple of tokens from that?
Yeah. I will take few.
Ooh, feel that power. Yeah, you love that.
Hey, like,
Ooh.
you know, I look, you're acting so patronizing to me and everything, but you know, like, to be honest, like, Hector and Lisa are always like, you know, together and sneaking away and shit like that. Like, you know, I think each of us needs someone to, you know, cover our backs, and neither of us can rely on either of them against the other one.
Well, now that's an interesting thought, because I was going to ask you how you're getting on with Lissa. I will admit I find her difficult, but maybe we are a logical pairing. You keep me on the straight and narrow, I introduce you to the world as it is.
Yeah, well, I will try, because, you know, I really feel that I don't really have anyone else to rely on at this moment.
To quote an old friend of mine, Weeper, winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Yeah. Fine.
I think you just told me that I was arrogant.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Yes, I'll take another 4 darkness tokens. See, we're a match made in heaven. But yeah,
I don't know if
I watch your back, you watch mine.
Yeah.
So assuming that the two of you kind of need to get on the move,
Yeah.
where do you think you want to head?
I'm quite interested in Hearn the Headhunter. Because I think we didn't I think that's a loose end, isn't it? We haven't gone there yet. Or there's that public house that
that he frequents.
Oh, does he frequent that pub?
Yes.
And
as well as it being I'm sorry, no, actually I got that wrong. No, he's at his location. The pub is sort of a general hob pub
for these replacing artifacts with replicas and stuff. Is that the clue that you got from Black Annis, Aisling? I think it is, but I can't quite remember.
Black Annis certainly told Aisling about about the Hobbs and some of that stuff going on in the artifact theft. But what it was is Black Annis gave Aisling that video game cartridge.
Right. Well, how do you want to pursue the video game cartridge? Or do you want to go to the pub?
Well, yeah, let's go there. Let's go to the pub with people. Because cartridge seems to be too long of a project at this point. Feel like we are being hunted, so we have to do something.
Yeah, I mean, and this pub was not in London; it was outside London. So
just outside London, yeah.
Yeah, so you know, it's at the end of one of the tube lines. We'll keep our heads down. We both go as skinheads. Yeah.
Yeah.
You, me, skinheads.
Yeah, sure, I can be skinhead.
So are you two heading off, or are you going to grab Egther and Lissa? Are you going to leave them?
I'm conscious that Suriel and Aisling haven't been somewhere together.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's do that scene, since we come around naturally to you, Alan, and see the two of you on the tube. There is that sort of reaction when you get on the tube that people move and shift away from the couple of skinheads that get on, and you know, that sort of tension and watching that is occurring there. Aisling, have you ever had like this kind of like attention in your real human form?
No, probably not.
Yeah, people are scared of you. You kind of like that, right?
Yeah. It's just like, it kind of feels like, you know, my two forms have like came together.
Absolutely.
I'm like, you know, I'm human, but I'm also scary. Usually have to become a dream to be scary.
Absolutely.
Maybe I
You
should become a
will.
skinhead in a human form.
See the guy over there? He's looking at you.
Yeah, I give him scariest look I can.
People look away when you make eye contact with them. It's very empowering.
Go put him in his place.
Okay, I walk to him.
He kind of does that thing where he pulls up his stuff to try and like look at it more closely, kind of thing, like he was just not paying attention to anything else.
Why are you staring at me?
I wasn't. Sorry. Sorry. No, we must have a mistake. Sorry.
So you were. Don't lie to me. Why are you staring at me?
And he just stammers. He doesn't know what to say. He's confronted publicly. This is not the kind of thing that he's prepared for.
Fucking Irish perverts, fucking English perverts. Stay with like, with like trying to make my Irish accent most.
Okay. Absolutely. The tube station is at the very kind of outskirts. It's a walk. You're out in the sort of the far belt, but this is a part of that far belt and the outskirts of London that is not in great shape. Where it hasn't been a lot of work done here. Things have fallen down, and you will have to walk a ways. There are no cabs or Ubers running here. And you definitely do kind of fit in, not fit in, because this is a more ethnically diverse area and you're a couple of skinheads walking through it. And so there are a lot of people that kind of are out kicking the ball around that kind of stop and look at you two as you go past. But eventually you will come to like have to go down a side street to a very rundown pub. You can see that it used to be called the King's Oak, but like that sort of signage has faded away, and they've just like bought an industrial plastic sign that says Tirnan Og in papyrus font, and it's hanging from the front. Like the windows are grimy. You're not sure if it's old smoke or paint or what, but you'll go in and there's a weird at first kind of hum of different voices and different languages and accents as you come in, and that kind of dies down. And I think both of you are magical in your own way. In particular, Surreal, you are able to see through things, and you will see that this is a bar full of red caps, trolls, ogres, all in their working man clothes. They've got their soft caps on. They've got their jackets. They look like they're from EastEnders, but they're ogres and such. And they all kind of look at you because they can't see exactly what you are, but they know that you're not what you look like. And the bartender,
I'm guessing that they can pick up on the Fey glamour from Titania.
The bartender, you'll see this very tall hobgoblin who'll say, no glamours in here.
Ailing, after you.
You drop that, and there's a murmur because they expected you to be something else. And it gets kind of tense in there.
We don't want any trouble. Just want to ask a couple of questions. You may have seen me on the news. I'm in a little bit of difficulties. I need to stay under the radar, just the way you do.
Yeah. Yeah, he's fine, old boy, you know. Don't trust the news.
The BBC, folks, is not what it was.
They do kind of like I think they don't know what to make of you, but you at least seem like you're local. So they going to give you a little chance. That the bartender will say, "Well, if you want information, I think that you gentlemen first need to buy the room around, and then we can talk."
I'd like to unleash the dark here.
Okay.
Because we only pay for a round when we decide, not when we're asked.
Oh, okay.
So I think that I will spend 3 darkness tokens. Oh, I've just realized a situation. 2d6 plus 3 to unleash the dark.
Absolutely. We'll talk about your situation in just a moment.
Yeah.
I was wondering about that.
Second time I've fallen into that trap. Never mind. That's
Yep.
7 plus 3 is a 10.
10. So what does this look like? Like, what are you invoking, and what is that? What do we see?
I think that this is that that power of darkness that I don't use very often. Weapons of light and sound. So, you know, the braying of brazen horns, the clap of thunderous drums. I am a god, don't mess with me.
What do you want as your 2 results here?
I think that I want to avoid reprisals, harm, or cost.
Okay.
Always a good one to start. And gain the upper hand for now. Oh no, get what you want from them, which is straight answers.
Okay. This crackles Iceland. It is not pleasant for you because Serial does crackle with bright light and flashes in his display of his majesty there, but everyone like cowers, like they all get quiet, their heads go down. You can see that these are hobs and goblins and things like that. They're used to a hierarchy, and as soon as that hierarchy is established, you see them all like they are all in obeisance here, keeping their heads down there.
And at the side of my mouth, I say to Aisling, okay, I've done the bad cop, now be the good cop.
Let me resolve one thing here before I do that, Aisling, because you hit a 5 darkness tokens, right?
Yeah, but that only applies after a move, doesn't it?
Yes,
I
which is
just
what
made a
Serial
move.
just did.
Oh, after anybody's moves, yes. Oh, sorry.
So Serial now has to
misunderstood.
resolve his thing, and
Torn
then we'll come back
between.
to you, Aisling.
Oh,
I
yeah.
I think I have let my monstrous nature show and describe the damage your outburst causes, because I think the complete glamour goes, and I look like that.
Okay.
And they know that I'm odd,
right,
in the extreme.
That the building is rickety itself, and I think there is a shaking of it that you've just taken a decade off the lifespan of this building here.
I'd love if the bar windows explode into the street. I just
absolutely
blew out the windows in the Queen Vic. Yes.
Just explode outward. Aisling, you see that Serial looked like he kind of maybe went a little overboard there.
Yeah.
What do you want to do?
Well, what darkness demands of me doesn't really apply here. So what conditions do I even have? Oops.
Oh, it only applies, the 5+ only applies for him. It's yeah, you don't get hit by that, but I just want to know what you do for your next action. It's whenever you do a move, you resolve it and you end up with 5, it affects just you.
Okay.
So he's scared the pants off these hobs. He shattered the front windows. They are cowering.
Well, Well, now could you please just start talking before he gets into worse bullshit? Look, he's not like completely bad guy, but he's not on the government's wanted list, you know, for no reason. They only put cool people there.
This red cap will take off his cap, kind of holds it in his two hands. A little blood is kind of dripping out of it as he holds it tight. And he says, begging your pardon, but what is it you wish to know, milady?
Well, we're kind of, you know, we've been going over around this whole Fey company bullshit. So could someone just, you know, put it into clean terms? What the hell are you guys doing currently in UK?
There's some look around, and he'll say, well, your pardon, milady, but most of us got left behind, a good chunk of us, when the company left. So we were forced to go native. And we've been making our livelihood since then, you know, on the edges, under bridges, whatever bolt holes we could find, you know, trying to find space, fighting off the borables and all of those kinds of things. And like we're just trying to live. And then the gentry came back, and they brought with them coin, and a promise of shipping some of us back to the Summerlands when all is said and done. But I know that's not what you want to hear. You want to know kind of some of us, they've had us going and taking things from places, items of power, snatching them away, collecting. We drop replicas in place. That happens too. They've got a satellite office at Dragon Hill that they're working out of, if you wanted to know that. And he'll draw out this folded up. Now, you probably haven't seen this for a while, because now we have Google Maps. But he has a big folded out up map of England, and he'll go over to one of the tables and he pushes this you know, a basket of crisps off onto the floor, and he'll unfold it, and you can see that it is a map of the UK with different. It's like somebody cut someone's throat and splattered the blood on it. And it kind of smells like, at the same time, like that kind of weird coppery smell, but also like rose petals. And they say they've had us going around to the spots on the map.
Yes.
And we're just supposed to take off our glamour and kind of make ourselves seen in these places. That's most of it. There are other things I know, other like higher class Fae have been asked to do, but that's what our job. I mean, we're just a hob on the street.
Well, thank you guys. You have been very helpful. I will, you know, make sure my partner here leaves you alone. Will you? Sorry.
Yes, of course. And landlord, and I bang some glamoured tenors on the bar, drinks for everyone, and that should see the window good.
Nice.
And I look to Aisling as if to say, grasp for a key?
Yeah. Thinking about, yeah, probably. I would very much like to. That's, yeah. +4 to survive here.
You can max +3.
Oh, +3. Okay, then +3. Wow. That wasn't that bad.
What'd you get?
8.
8. So I think you do like this Hob will hand you this map. Give it over to you, clearly kind of reluctantly. But I think that is the key, is this map of the UK with blood splatters. That has been like yeah. Interesting thing is some of the other Hobs will pull out the same map and the blood splatter is exactly the same on those.
I see. Huh. Yeah, thank you for help, and sorry about my partner. He's a little bit, he mostly does burning people down with the light. I do the thinking and talking, so.
No worries. It's not like once you leave, we'll be calling the authorities and telling them where we saw you.
I mean, what would you...
Exactly.
Yes, I would very much recommend you guys don't do that.
No, but we are disabused of said notion.
Yes. Because if you ever do, you will have the most horrible nightmares for the rest of your lives.
I think
Thank you
that's
for
maybe the
asking.
moment when a couple of them kind of realize what you are. And like, there's kind of the sharp intake of breath here. And where they had their heads kind of bowed, like the ones that are closest to you, like their heads go fully down, like they stop making eye contact with you.
Ah, that's not necessary.
We could smell the huntsman on you.
Huntress.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Modern times is as modern times do. Yes. And I think we're going to cut there.
Yeah.
How do you want us to phrase that key?
Oh, I would say,
yeah, I don't get to it.
yeah, it would be map of UK with blood stains. Let's take our first break here. We'll take 10. We'll come back and we'll go back to Egther and Lissa. Okay. So let's come back to Egther and Lissa. We assume that the others have told you that they're headed off to that, kind of leaving you two to head in the direction you want to go. So let's start with that, with the problem, as Lissa has suggested, that Cyril took his glamour with him. So you're potentially a little conspicuous here.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder, could we pick up on the street outside the bar? I kind of like the idea that maybe Cyril didn't tell us where he was going, and suddenly my glamour just starts fading and start becoming visible.
That's up to you.
Andish, what do you think?
Yeah, that sounds fair.
Okay.
I think our plan is to go to the Long Man in Sussex, right?
Works for me.
So I have, with my Tower of Isolation, this old fortress, I have the interdimensional portals, and I can use that. When you call upon the resources of your fortress to immediately solve a problem or address a challenge, say what you want to happen. And then there's some other stuff. And I think this with Lissa starting to become more conspicuous, and the general probably problematic situation for monsters here, now that things have been turned up a bit, I think we should just use that to travel directly to where we're going instead of taking the train.
Is there a role with that?
It's the following. When you call upon the resources of your fortress to immediately solve a problem or address a challenge, say what you want to happen. The keeper will tell you how your people expect you to use these resources lawfully through honor and duty. And then I choose whether I honor my people as tradition demands, or if I ignore the traditions of my people and use my resources as I wish, and they have different consequences.
I think you can transport there, but if you ask like permission, hospitality from that place, you'll just mark 1 ruin. If you forego those pleasantries, you'll have to mark 2 ruin. What do you think?
Yeah. That sounds fair. And I think,
yeah, describe what that looks like when you take Lissa through your fortress, through these portals to arrive at Hearn's.
I think it's the same thing as I described before. He takes out his hammer and kind of turns it in the air to create the portal. They step through that to this cathedral-looking place with a giant tombs and these multiple portals. And I kind of want to do the right thing, but also if I do that, the keeper will describe how your fortress weakens as more of your people's legacy fades, and I don't want that one, so I'm going to mark 2 ruin. Which means I'm feeding the harbinger within me. In addition, gain 1 more feature for the tower as you learn about the secrets your people kept from you. I think I'll do that when I have a moment of downtime, when I'm not on screen. But I will mark the 2 ruin.
So you will come through and you will arrive there. And again, you're going to this place where Hearn holds sway. And you will arrive and you can hear this pealing of a bell when the 2 of you move through. And you will arrive there, and let me again. You will see this figure like waiting for you. That clearly the opening of the gates, the breaching of those things has opened up the notices there, and you'll see this fawn-like wood and horns a figure dressed in a very well-tailored suit, kind of a dark green, a beautiful check pattern, like somebody's done some real work there, and he's standing there as the 2 of you pop through, and he says, "This is not the agreements that are made with your people, giant. Normally you send your card ahead, ask permission, request.
Normally, I would not deal with you at all. But the promises I have made to others force me to intervene."
Force you to intervene. That is an interesting way to put that.
Your actions are harming those I have pledged to protect.
So this is not simply a social call.
That depends on whether you will resist, whether you will agree to desist or not.
You understand, I am what they might call a middleman in all of this.
I'd like to start unfolding my wings and floating.
Hearn says, I see. Well, allow me to show you something of some modern hounds that I have accumulated. And he will snap his fingers, and you will see come roaring up from around here 4 giant double-decker buses. And you will see that driving each is a figure with a flaming skull. The buses themselves are combusting, and Hearn says, I like pop imagery. And they come roaring into pincer to come at the 4 of you. Egther, let's start with you. What do you want to do? There are 4 of these things coming, plus Hearn. Ghost lorries.
Sorry?
Ghost lorries is what ghost driver. So,
Well, I have a hammer, and this is something I can hit with a hammer. So
okay.
I guess these buses get to be nails.
Absolutely. These are huge double-decker Titanic buses.
Well, seems like suitable for my come on tough guy move then.
That is perfect. How many tokens do you want to spend? And then we'll come to Lissa.
I have 3. I will spend 2 of them.
Okay.
And I just realized I don't have the dice roller up.
No. I closed mine too for some reason. Why do I always do that?
And 2 dice plus 2. That's a 7. So I will spend a bond.
Okay.
With Lissa because she's not really in danger, but she's here.
Yeah.
We're standing
Then
side by
that gets
side.
you a +3.
So you've added 10.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice. Well, either way, I get into the sweet spot.
So choose 2.
Yeah. I need to. Yeah, you give your allies a golden opportunity. I definitely want to do that
Okay.
one. Choose one ally to gain a bond with you. Does that mean? I mean, I assume the bond isn't the only effect, but that this is also a fictional positioning thing.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. And I will uncover a key at great cost.
Okay. So.
And I think this is Egther warding off the buses more than actually smashing them to bits.
Absolutely. I think you are smashing into them. And I think one of the things you'll see here, as you kind of knock one of them back, that things kind of come flying out of the windows, like the buses are carrying something, like this sort of multi-purpose. And you see that like the buses are stacked with like these costumes that look like Fae. Like they're stacked with fake Fae costumings. beautifully constructed. Like you can tell they don't tear away from your thing. Like the Hearn or the Gentry have made these costumes that people can put on. And that is your key from that. And I think that the great cost here is that, like, when they come in and you're kind of warding them away, here's one of those moments when one of the buses comes up and it's unexpected, and the front grill of it kind of opens and slams down and pulls your hammer out of your hand, and you can hear it getting gobbled into the guts of one of these buses. Is that okay?
Yeah. That's super cool.
Okay. Lissa, Hector's kind of set you up. He's got a couple of these buses. There are 4 of them to deal with.
I'm going to get vicious. I'm going to mark 4 darkness tokens as I use Sleeping God. Let Sleeping Gods lie.
Okay.
And what that does is I can mark 2 ruin and tick the dream ends twice, build the cosmic dreams of terror like the sharpest weapon, and infect a specific vulnerable target with horrifying hallucinations and bring to life one of their nightmares. I want to take out Hearn.
Okay.
And I will mark 2 ruin, trick the demon. So I'll mark 2 ruin, tick the dream ends twice as I get closer to my true and terrible cosmic form. And I'll take another bond with I think the bond is with my true and cosmic form.
Absolutely. So I think there is a scream there as you let loose there on Hearn and drive that cosmic force into the very corners of his mind, and he will collapse there. Egther, come back to you. There's still 4 of these things rushing around. One of them has swallowed your hammer. Hearn is dropped, just babbling and gibbering, his mind blasted and destroyed forever by these horrible nightmares that have just rushed into his mind. What do you want to do?
I will unleash the dark. I will, let me look at my powers of darkness. I will grow to closer to my full size.
Okay.
And I think I will use the ability I got from Lissa to create a star. And the singularity type of star that will pull the buses in.
Okay.
And
so spend your tokens and roll.
I just had the 1 token, so I will spend that. That's a 9.
That is a 9. So you get to pick 2 from Unleash the Dark there.
Unleash the Dark. Get past the defenses and inflict a condition.
So that with picking that, and you can pick that twice, that'll get rid of one of these buses. Essentially, the star will appear in the middle of it, and it will crumple that in the singularity field of it.
I will, that's 1, and I will get what I want from them, and that's my hammer back.
Okay.
They are not going to get my hammer.
3 left, but you crushed one of them, and spat your hammer back to your hand. It comes flying out of the gravity well of this thing back into your hand.
And Alan reminded me that Surreal imbued it with shadow thing. So I think that kind of shadow of the hammer is flickering around it.
Oh yeah, perfect. Lissa, you've dropped Hearn. 3 buses still left.
So
I'm sorry. I apologize. One before we go. Exit market condition. As one of the other buses slams into you. Lissa.
So I'm going to use my Shade Ruin move, the Corridor of Doors.
Okay.
When I allowed the Harbinger within me to access the Corridor of Doors, I can unlock a door. And I think in this case, I want to unlock the door of the Veiled One of Spite and Rage, of Whisper and Blade.
Okay.
And I can mark, and the wording is a little strange here. Do I have to disappear the door from the corridor regardless of whether I mark 1 ruin or 2, or is it just that does that only happen if I mark 1 ruin? And that's on the character sheet. That's around line 300.
I think that effect happens regardless, because
Okay.
it's to kind of tick off the possibilities there.
Okay. So I'm opening the door of the Veiled One. I will strike through that. I will mark 2 ruin, so that the Veiled One acknowledges my power and control and sees me for the fearsome harbinger I'll become, and they'll obey my commands for a time before returning to the Corridor of Doors. And I'm just going to point at the buses and say, get rid of them.
Absolutely. So that feels like you're unleashing the dark?
Yeah.
Okay. How many tokens do you want to spend as you call? And what does this thing look like you call through from the Corridor of Doors?
It's a shadowy figure that is hard to look at because it usually seems like it's blurry. Almost like you can either see where it is or see how fast it's moving, but not both at the same time. And if you try to look at both at the same time, it hurts your eyes because it defies physics.
Perfect.
But it is wearing a veil to cover whatever would be in the location where its face is.
How many tokens do you want to spend?
I will spend 3.
Okay. Let's have you roll.
That's an 11.
That is an 11. So choose one. Unless you want to spend a bond to take it down to a 10.
Yeah, I'll spend. I've got enough bonds. I'll spend.
Yeah. So choose 2. It's legit to choose inflict a condition twice to take out 2 of these buses.
Yeah, you know what? Let's do that.
This thing will rip through them. It sends pieces and parts flying. It throws those flaming skull bus drivers like rag dolls out into the distance, just absolutely tears them apart. But there is a moment when one of those pieces it throws slams into you because it doesn't care. So mark a condition.
Okay. I will mark reactive, and also that allowed me to hit another ruin level. So I'm going to add another ruin condition. Let's call that furious.
Okay. Egther, there's 1 left, and Lissa has been injured.
Yeah, but I will embody my merciless condition.
Okay.
And I will point at that final driver and raise my hammer and just throw it right at him.
How many tokens do you want to spend?
I'm going to take 3 for that and spend 2 of them.
Sounds good.
Oh, I get a 9, so I'll take a condition, inflict a condition, and not take any myself.
Okay. So just last one. Your hammer hits it, grabs the power of that shadow and the star that's around it, and it vaporizes the front half of this bus. Like it strikes and it atomizes it. And the back half of the bus it was rolling along, just falls over, goes skidding, tears across the green.
I look at Egther. Say, you're so fucking hot when you wreck things. And if you're okay with it, I'll just kind of like let gravity slip a little and I'll kind of float up to give you a kiss.
Yeah.
And I'll whisper once again, I think we're both going to fall, but I'm going to do it before you do. Almost like a challenge this time, though. Whereas before it was compassion. Now it's more along the lines of, let's see how bad we can get.
Oof.
Are you okay with that?
Yeah, I'm okay with it. I think Egther is going to have a bad reaction to it.
Oh, that's fine.
Well, what is your reaction to that, Egther?
I think at first when Lissa floats up and kisses him, he reciprocates the kiss, and I think before you say the thing about falling, he says, "You honor me, goddess." And then when you say that thing about falling, he kind of stiffens and if either of us fall, we can no longer be together.
Nice.
Are you okay with me taking your ruin?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Good. I should be clear that I, as a player, I'm fine with this however it goes.
Yes. And well, I'm checking in with you at a meta level as a player. So
Yeah.
we'll take your 2 ruin marks.
Well,
So what I'd like to do is cut back to Suriel and Iceling. Suriel hasn't had a chance to grasp a key yet. I think. Let me check the mystery map. Yeah. For this session, what I'd like to do is Suriel, if we can kind of contextualize you doing that, and then maybe we need to move to the opening the door there.
Can I insert a cutscene first?
Sure.
Back in the Tir Nanog pub, I think that there's the hubbub of conversation after we've left. And I'd like to have just touched the barman when I handed over that wodge of imaginary tenors.
Sure.
Because I'd like to get a move on the table that I haven't yet used, which is desire dressed as faith. You know very well that worship comes from desire, selfish and cruel. When you touch a being, you may imbue them with an uncontrollable desire for someone or something. Choose. Mark 2 ruin, the desire will become permanent for both of you, and they will spread that desire in others. In addition, gain 1 bond. What about darkness? Because what I'd like to do is to imbue that barman with the creation of dark churches in my name, which is what I want.
Right.
I'll mark 2 ruin to do that, which fills the ruin track and gives me 1 spillover. I'll come back to that ruin move in a bit.
Okay.
And so, yeah, I think they're talking about, and the barman says, that was a real god. Let's pray. And I'd like to think that there is some small portion of the Hob population that is now worshipping Suriel.
That seems more than fair.
I'm-
Iceland, Suriel, after you do. Oh, yep.
I just then will take as my ruin move a ruin condition called, a permanent one called Heartless, which I think gives me fictional positioning to mark another box on my movement to Godhead. Destroy my heart that I may never be betrayed again. Does that seem reasonable to you?
That does seem reasonable.
So permanently heartless. Yeah, and I will mark ruin.
And then the consequence.
Yeah, I think I owe you a consequence. Because I'm not sure you gave me one for the Polynesian statuette that I destroyed in the Black Museum.
Let's see. I think that we see a team assembling, and we see a figure there, and it's in a rumpled trench coat and a kind of a worn hound dog look, and he says, thick British accent, and says, "Ladies and gentlemen, the Treasury has seen fit to refund MI 666. All of you have been brought out of retirement along with some new trainees for our monster squad. We have a new target." And he clicks on the projector and your face comes up there.
Love it. Thank you.
So Iceland, Suriel, is there something else you want to do here before we kind of move to the next segment? I want to give Iceland kind of maybe the lead on this part.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to suggest that.
Oh, in the pub.
But after the pub, like where do you want to go? What do you want to do to?
Well, I think there's not really that much to do than to go to
check one of these
go
sites
to the headquarters
or go back to HQ. What do you want to do?
I thought we are gonna go to their HQ, the Valley of what was it called? No,
over to Dragon Hill. Okay,
Dragon Hill, yeah.
Yeah,
but I guess that's where we meet the others. So I don't know.
Well, let's do the scene and then we can bring everybody together there. Dragon Hill is a mound there, and it has built up around it a large like tourist center that has been established. It looks actually fairly recent, and you can see that it's a Fairies of Great Britain exhibition and center. Like it's all about that. They've got a tour, they've got guidebooks. It's brilliantly done. Everything is lovely and wondrous and cheap. And they've got weekend getaway packages and things and walking tours, and it's incredibly crass and commercial and built up. And the two of you look way out of place as skinheads.
Yeah, well, let's go buy some tickets. Right. And inside I can sleep some places.
Are you a Court of the Fairy member? We have a special card. It offers a seasonal discount.
No, I'm not member of Court of Fate.
Would you like to be? It only takes 5 minutes to sign up.
No. I'm already member of too many things.
Fair enough. Can I just have your email?
No.
Fair enough. All right. How about a postcode?
No.
Fair enough. And then finally, they'll sell you the tickets. Still fairy trust. Nice. And you can wander around here. There are people everywhere. They've got little outfits and little fairy wands and little fairy costumes and things like that. And there's a lot of a sort of a subtext here of fairies protecting Britain, fairies bringing back Albion, fairies fighting monsters and keeping the darkness and the nightmares away. That's all superimposed here.
Well, I don't. Well, I wanted to say, why don't we have something like that? But then I realized you are a god. So that's kind of what you do. Well,
excuse me a moment, Aisling. I just have to use the facilities. Don't break anything in the gift shop.
of course.
I disappear to the facilities.
Yeah. Fine. Without Surreal, I can do some of my own research. It's
Yeah.
just so drawing attention, like where that ever helped anyone. So they have headquarters somewhere here. So, is there anything that looks like it's not part of the the fair, like a big administrative building?
Oh, they've got offices
bunker?
and an admin building and all of the usual stuff that you would see, the staff only areas.
Yeah, let's start with the admin building.
Sure. So do you want to, is this you investigating? Do you want to grasp for keys here?
Yeah, I will. Just when no one is looking, I will just slip through the cracks of some door, and I'm inside. Just change into the shadow form, flow through the cracks in the door, and then reform behind the door. That was easier than I thought.
Easy enough for you to do here.
Yeah.
What do you? How many darkness tokens do you want to spend on this?
2.
Let's have you roll.
Yeah, let's have me roll. +2. That's 11. Can I save it?
Yeah, you can spend a bond to take it down.
Do I have any use for bond? I have what darkness demands of me too. Oh, I have one bond with Lissa. How do you spread like darkness demands of me?
Basically, how you kind of leaning into who you are.
Okay. You know what? This actually reminds me of something, when I was a little girl and I used to have a family that I want back and can't get back. And we used to go to places like this, some fairy, maybe even some fairy oriented attraction in Northern Ireland. Yeah, I think and being there back like kind of reminded me of just back in the good times.
Yeah, they've got rides set up and like your usual playground stuff, but they've also got some fancy rides, and you hear the music that's coming from them, and I think that's very familiar to you. Of that. So if you take that to a 10, you will move around through this place here. This is very much set up, you will realize, for the kind of the mundane staff and things. But what will draw you is you go and like move into one of these rooms, these storerooms, huge storeroom, filled with all of the knickknacks and touristy bits and little statuettes and fairy wings and costumes and all kinds of things that you can see they're selling out front, but they clearly have a thriving British mail order business that they've been shipping around the country. You can see the shipping labels and things like that. But I think you'll pick up one of these pieces, and as you kind of touch it, you'll get like just this little fairy statuette, and you kind of look at it and you get this like sense of like a spark almost. And I think you'll realize that all of these pieces here have a little bit, like just tiny bit of magic in them, such that they're explosive. When they explode, they're going to explode in kind of a burst of magic.
Okay, I will grab few of them into my pocket. And yeah, I'm gonna go see I'm gonna go to check on my, well, partner, mentor,
Okay.
partner. Yeah, I'm calling him partner.
So let's do this. Let's do what Cyril's doing at the restroom, and then we'll bring the other team in to kind of hard frame us back together. Does that seem reasonable? So Cyril, you wandered off clearly with an agenda.
Moi? Yeah, so I think we see Cyril, he goes into the gents, goes into a cubicle, locks it behind him. And I would like to use Fey Glamour to send a visitation to Mysterious and the Hallimore pilots.
All right.
I want to unleash the dark to do that.
Okay.
And if I think that'll give me fictional positioning if it works for what I want to do next.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Is it unleash the dark, or are you powering through darkness using your powers to do something?
Maybe I'm powering through darkness.
Yeah. You're trying to do an effect.
Yeah, I think you're
Okay.
right. So I am going to spend 2 tokens.
Okay.
And roll a 2d6. That gets me to 7. But I am going to burn a bond with my followers and fans.
Okay.
In order to get that to an 8.
All right. So you're at
I
an
think
8.
That's where I want to be.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Great precision. Tell me what happens here. Like, what do we see?
Yeah, I think that we see Cyril concentrates on the cubicle door, and then he pushes on it, and it opens into the Hallimore pilots' barracks, whatever space they have.
And you see figures come running over to you, Lord Cyril.
And I think that I've forgotten her name. Catalina Lee is my chosen one. And so then I think I've got fictional positioning to reach out and touch Catalina. Where's it gone? The lies declare a secret or truth you wish to conceal. Describe what lie or distraction will replace it. The lie or secret, sorry, the secret or truth that I want to conceal is that she is just a Hallimore pilot. And I want to replace it with a lie, which is, you are the god to come.
All right.
And then I'll burn the remaining 3 tokens and roll 2d6 plus 3. 8 plus 3 is 11. That could be tricky.
You want to burn a bond?
Yeah, that's what I'm just thinking. No, I'm going to stick with that 11. So I get to choose 2 from the first list and 1 from the second list. So I
And
will choose.
What are we doing here?
This is The Lies That Serve Me, row 107.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Yep.
And on 11 plus, the lie grows more powerful than you intended, and your divinity cracks further.
Okay.
Choose 2 from above, but choose 1 from below. I think that I will go with the lie will last for as long as you wish it will.
Okay.
And the lie will hold up against any type of scrutiny.
That seems fair.
It may well give rise to lies beyond my control. And I will choose your divinity corrupts further and the harbinger within you stirs, mark 1 ruin.
Okay.
And what I'd like to suggest is that I've established fictional positioning to mark another one on my route to Godhead, which I have prepared a new body or vessel to house me.
I think that is fair.
Catalina Lee is the new Messiah.
And
when the time comes.
Yeah. I think we see a team rolling out into vans. I think we see, groups getting together, heavy armaments, stuff like that. And we see M gets into the passenger seat with reluctantly. It's like, I think we have a fix on them.
Yeah, I'd love it if there's a slightly kind of shady hob in a telephone box somewhere saying, yeah, yes, sir,
Dragon
yes,
Hill.
sir, Mr. M, yeah, Dragon Hill, yes, sir, yes, sir. I'm sure that's where he is, sir.
So I think we see you come out, you wash your hands,
of course.
Shut that, come out. I want to take our second break. I want to bring you back to Aisling so you can explain where you were. Then I want to bring Egther and Lissa back together. And we need to go to opening the door. Okay. So let's take 5 and we'll be right back. So Aisling, you found this stuff out. You've got some things sort of when you pack, you kind of wander back from the offices, and you will see Suriel come nonchalantly walking over to where you are, having used the little demon's room. What do you say, Suriel?
Anything to report? Sorry,
Yeah.
Even gods.
Yeah. Oh, trust me, I'm well acquainted with people's toilet stuff, You wouldn't believe how much they dream about it.
Nice.
So, any news from the others?
Yeah, no, but I found something. Hey,
tell.
look at this. This was in their, shipping center, whatever. There's a shop, I think. Hey, look at this. They ship it to people in Britain and then it magically explodes.
Explodes?
Yeah.
What are they playing at?
No. Hey, can you hold it?
No, it's fine. You keep it yourself.
Dude, I'm Irish. And I have exploding things. It doesn't help.
Well, look. Why don't we just put it down over there?
Yeah, I will just leave it somewhere. I think I will keep one to show it to the others.
Where no member of the public is going to interfere with it.
Right.
Yeah.
So let's imagine that you kind of move to the outskirts of this place, out to outside of the sort of touristy trap place. Egther, Lissa, I assume there's phone contact made to say where you are. Egther, are you using your doorway to arrive at a secluded spot near there?
For convenience, yes.
Yeah. So let's assume we go to the back of that parking lot that's been built there. kind of out of the way. Maybe there's a little construction site nearby where they're expanding. They're coming next summer, Unseelie Land, and Egther, Lissa, you kind of will step through the corridor. I think Surreal Iceling, Lissa looks even more towards the edge of things than she did the last time you saw her. But the four of you are kind of out of sight of the public, and you can talk. And this is the point at which we are going to move from kind of, we imagine that there's a conversation that goes on explaining what's happened with everybody, but then we move to the unlocking Doom's door here. And we know some of the context of this. We look there, we know about these mine ritual murders. We know about the children seeing Fae all around. Black Annis told you about the artifact thefts. You talked to Mr. Dropsy, talked to the Changeling, got information from them. They talked about the Red Caps and other Hobbs being in service, about these laborers. There was the thing about this weird bootleg video game that's gone around by the kids, and a strange code book that has a secret message in it. You got that map that has the bloodstains on it, and what, like, that they were sending the Hobbs out to those places. You know that they've said magical fracking as a thing throughout. That's been a sort of a leading thing. So those are all kind of contextual. And then we have on the table, we have 11 keys. And what I'd like to do is, as we've done before, I'm going to go around. We're going to start with Iceling with Tad. And you can decide, you can do one of the keys that you found or a key that somebody else found. And you're going to say which of the 5 facets that we have now that is connected to. Like, what does it tell us about what's going on? And we're going to kind of build up from there. So, Iceling, I want to start with you. What one do you want to start with?
I want to start with unmuting myself, but
Fair
after
enough.
that, yeah, I think that children's book with bits cut out by unusual means is tied to the queens.
So like what's going on there? Like, is it programming the kids? Is it something the kids were doing? What do you
Yes.
think that is?
Well, I think that the queens are queens are searching for more kids that they want to take to their realm, and they've gone to the bigger scale, so they go with, like, basically, brainwashing them with mass media and then luring them en masse.
So yeah, we mentioned the Pied Piper and those kind of things, and
Yeah.
it is a tool of spreading this fairy change and fairy infection. Okay, I like that. Egther.
Yeah, I think the mask of the guard that faded into leaves. I feel like that's connected to the Harbinger.
So that was a guard that we saw when Lissa went through to kind of check, like somebody had been replaced, and they turned into these fetches effectively.
Yeah.
There. So what's the connection there?
I think this is a manifestation of the power of the Harbinger. That this is them acting kind kind of like in an indirect manner.
So whoever the harbinger is can, like, part of the power is replacing and changing people or creating duplicates. They can use that. They have the power of recreation. Okay. I like that. That brings us to Surreal.
Yeah, I think I'm looking for inaccessible magic. A nursery rhyme of a cat cutting off people's hands is an allegory for the inaccessibility of magic.
So that thing there is some sort of fairy code for the magic that's stored away, that's hidden away, that they're trying to get at.
Exactly.
And certainly that is something that I think that's Mr. Dropsy that gave you that. So essentially gave you a coded communication from the Fae. Okay. Let's come to Lissa.
I'm looking at this contract between HMG and Mr. Hearn for the exploitation of resources. And I feel like that's related to the inaccessible magic. That they finally figured out a way to get the last little drops out because the protection had fallen.
Yeah. So clearly the probably revealed how things were getting like held back. We maybe mentioned the train rails and things that M had built, that those have been discontinued over the years. So we've got this magic, the access to it, we know that there are people in official lines that have a connection to that. That brings us back to Iceland.
Yeah. So I'm looking at the map of UK with the bloodstains. That was the plan of the series of robberies of artifacts, and I think that those artifacts are part of the rebirthing ritual. That they just need like a lot of artifacts to and magical items to perform this.
Oh, I like that. Like they're using those to give them the magic that they need to do this ritual, to do this fracking. Maybe they're converting those into these objects. Like that's where they're getting the magic for that. Okay.
Yeah, or maybe they need it as like a magical battery to get the fracking going.
Yeah. Yeah.
They
need that
like
power
you need
source.
to start your car, so
yeah.
From the battery, basically.
So you got to break Excalibur to start your car. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I like it.
That's a kind of bigger car, yeah.
Yeah. Egther.
Yeah, I'll take this, the outline of a stone circle drawn in blood. I think that's where the rebirthing ritual will take place. Like it's the location.
Is that the door? Okay, and I think we can connect that up with what we've established as well to the kind of the door of power. We've established Dragon Hill as their HQ. Maybe I think if you look at like the park map, you can see another version of that location. You can see where it is here, where that ritual has to take place, where they detonate the fuse on this. I like that. Surreal.
Now we've established that the door of power is located at Dragon Hill.
Yep, is here, and we probably connected that up to that ritual blood, that the rebirthing ritual there.
Okay. So do I need to find a connection in this facet column to the door of power?
Not necessarily. I think we kind of can know that by implication. We can kind of fill in the gaps. Not everything has to be thing. I mean, what we want to know, we kind of know what's going on. We definitely need to know more about the harbinger themselves, maybe as well.
Yeah. Well, I think that there's a parallel plot going on here, that while the fairy queens think they're all about screwing the last drops of magic from Albion, the harbinger is responsible for that unpublished game. and it's going to use that and the children it's suborned with it to hijack the ritual that the Gentry are planning.
Interesting. Does that suggest who might be the Harbinger?
I have my suspicions.
Someone who brought you in to mess with the ferry to cause problems, who's now driving over here in a vehicle with a team of people to eliminate you?
You may say that. I couldn't possibly comment.
Couldn't possibly comment.
But Merlin used to be a real tosspot.
He's not the real Merlin, but or is he? Like
That's what you say.
Oh yeah, that interesting thing from before with Egther. That brings us back to Lissa.
All righty. Let's see what we got here. Sprinkled with fairy dust.
Okay.
And I feel like that has to do with the rebirthing ritual.
So part of this has been this element of scattering the fairy dust to seed things, so that
and spread it across the country.
Yeah, it is the magical network. It's spread across the country. When everything goes off, it's going to go like an atmosphere of that everywhere that will ignite. Yeah, I like that. So go ahead and connect that up with the rebirthing ritual. That brings us back to Iceling.
Hey, yeah, and I'm thinking about those face statues because I think that fake queens actually have like a hunch that somebody is going to steal their stuff. So this is their plan. This is their plan B. If this doesn't go as they want, they will just magically blow up magically blow up parts of England that they could get this to.
Oh, so it's that fairy dust and the other things that are really about the fracking. This is a backup, blow up everything plan from the Fae Queens.
If it doesn't go their way, they will, either we have the England or no one has.
Right. I like that. That brings us to Egther. We've got 2 pieces left.
Yeah. I want to bring in the fairy costumes. I think these are also part of the rebirthing ritual. That this is they are created to either turn people into Fae or into servants of the Fae, or making them believe they are Fae, something along those.
Yeah, they've clearly been laying these things out, distributing these costumes, building this up. It's all sort of necessary to build this network of belief and connection all around the world. Surreal.
Yeah, I think that let's see, what have we, is there a way to balance this? I think, no, I'm going to stick with this is it. The strategy guide for the actual Zelda game with code is a Harbinger plan, but it is to once that magic becomes less inaccessible, it is to channel that magic to the Harbinger.
So they've set up these codes. They've got this game. The game is about kind of building an atmosphere of what could happen. They've got these secret codes that kids can find to get this mimetic magical space that they can channel that to that. Who is the Harbinger, though, Surreal?
Well, I think it would be cool if it was M.
Okay.
Because he is a disreputable, scruffy individual, and so far our Harbingers have been not that.
That seems fair. So we are going to unlock Doom's door. We have a 13, or sorry, we've got 11 keys. So we're rolling with a +3. Alan, Surreal, let's have you roll with a +3.
With great power comes great responsibility.
100%.
2d6 plus 3. Oh, that is 12.
That is 12. So I think as you're putting this together, as you are, the four of you are standing there talking, as this, I think you will hear this peal and this crackle. And you will see sort of at the top of Dragon Hill, the door open, and there is an explosion of magic. And you can feel that as things explode, as England is lit aflame with magic and fire. And you will see up at the top that there are fairy figures like falling out of the skies, like burning angels collapsing to the ground, like they've been set on fire. And you'll see this scruffy, trench-coated figure standing up there at the door, even as you hear the squeal and these 4 combat vans come to a stop where you 4 are, and rolls out a team of SAS Special Forces, werewolves, what looks like a Frankenstein. There's some kind of combat mummy, as this monster squad and SAS troopers move to start mowing you down. Because she burns so brightly. Lissa, what do? The door is already opened. There's little time to close it. Yes, you are. Effectively, yes, thank you, Alyssa. You've got this British commando team, this British monster squad. There are fairies running every which way. Magic is exploding out. People are screaming. England is burning.
I thought England was dreaming. I want to fight fire with fire.
That seems like a plan.
And as I prepare to do this, I look at this at Cyril and say, God damn it. You trusted him, Cyril. You're supposed to be the team lead and you trusted him?
I didn't trust him. I will admit surprise.
Whatever. I think you need to be removed as team leader. And I feel like I'm being vicious here.
I think you are.
He's reactive. And, for shits and giggles, I'll mark 4 darkness tokens. And what I'm going to do is, like I said, fight fire with fire. M has this door open already.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to open the door of the Broken Mother, who covers oaths and strength and war and conquest.
Absolutely. Go.
Why not summon a harbinger to fight a harbinger?
Okay. So marking 2 ruin, I assume?
Of course I'm marking 2 ruin.
Of course.
I'd like to point out that leaves me 1 shy of going over the edge and becoming a harbinger myself.
Absolutely. We'll look at the group killing you in a minute. So you will summon. What does this mother look like?
She is a wreck. She shows up in a muumuu, her hair in a net, sobbing for the children that she's lost to violence.
And she will stride forward. And I think there's a weird flicker too. There's echoes of Boudicca, and maybe even the Morrigan, like these other female figures of legend in England pulled forward, and she'll stride up. So you are, your intent is to have her attack. So go ahead and roll Unleash the Dark.
Ready? That is an 11.
That is an 11. Do you want to use bonds?
Let me see what the outcome is here. My control falters and I go too far.
No, you're Unleashing the Dark. Choose one, but the keeper describes an unintended consequence.
I will go ahead and spend a bond to inflict 2 conditions.
Okay. So you will get past their defenses. She strides up and slams into M atop that hill. And that's when one of the SAS people plants 3 solid slugs in your midsection, mark a condition.
Okay.
And like, this shouldn't have hit you or hurt you, but whatever they've got in those guns, like, punched through your defenses, and you can feel the blood coming out. Iceling. And you'll see Lissa do this dance as the bullets hit, even as she summons this horror figure from beyond. What do you do?
Yeah, well, I think it's finally time to see Iceling go against, like, normal people, by which I mean SAS.
Okay.
The peasants of this fight.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I envisioning just like a montage of just person appearing behind those soldiers and stabbing them and shooting them with a crossbow, and then person appearing from the shadows in different place, and them just shooting into the shadows that I'm no longer there, obviously. It's like, if it doesn't go completely tits up, they should not have any chance against me.
Absolutely.
But I think I should have. I will try to reduce this. Just
Unleash the Dark.
Yeah.
How much do you want to spend?
Wait, I gain 3 because I'm going for violence.
Oh yeah.
As my 7th move. Yeah, I'm going through anger and violence. So yeah, I will spend 3 that I gained. Let's see. I would rather overreach than underreach here. That's 10. That's still for
perfect.
success. Yeah.
So they are a group of normal people, even though they're highly trained SAS, prepared, and all that stuff. Yeah. So if you say for one of your picks, get past their defenses and inflict a condition, we do see that. We see you take them out in one blur. What do you want as your second pick?
Well, I guess I will just avoid harm because nothing else really helps here.
Yeah, I think there is this moment when you see one of them falls back and they fire off a pistol that they pulled out like at you, like special, and when it goes past, I think you feel it almost sucks you back out of this world. Like, there is a moment when it goes past and you feel part of yourself start to give, and then it comes back and you're like, they're prepared. Let's come to Egther.
So think when Egther sees Lissa, he can see that she's on the edge of becoming a harbinger.
Oh yeah.
He sees her take the bullets, and he thinks to himself, maybe this is the better ending for her. And I'm going to take 4 tokens for feeling lonely and rejected. And then I'm going to charge at the
You
monster
told her
squad.
that if she goes, you would have to be a part. Like you warned her of this, right?
Yeah, but she's not stopping. She's just charging ahead right over the cliff. So maybe it wasn't meant to be.
So
And
what are
I
you
will
doing?
take out my frustration on the monster squad. I will
Okay.
charge them. The Frankenstein and the mummy, they are going down.
Let's have you unleash the dark.
Yeah, and I will, just as a thing, I will use my Reshape by Despair and gain their fear and loathing.
Nice.
And I will use 2 tokens. That gets me a 9.
So that is right there, perfect in the middle. So what do you want from the choose 2?
If I can take out them all with 2 conditions, I will go for that.
That'll take out most of them. They only have 3, so like that'll take out most of them. Do you want to do that?
That's good enough. That's good.
Okay. There is a thing, like you fall on those werewolves, like you love fighting werewolves. Werewolves are classic. These are the beasts that you are from mythology, smashing through, you turn, grab these artificial created people, you just throw them and fling them every which way, and you like they're trying to keep up with you, but they haven't prepared. Some of these things came out of retirement and they're just awful. And I think that's when the sword comes through your back and comes out the front as this mummy with this giant slaying blade runs you through, mark a condition.
Yep.
And kind of picks you up, even though you're big and heavy with it, and kind of holding you, pins on it like a butterfly. Surreal.
Yeah, I mark 2 ruin as Gazamak appears to help.
And I think you see Gazamak will you see him like grabbing and calling the Fae and drawing them to him so that they are not an obstacle in this fight.
The enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Yeah, he's clearly got an in with them, and you see him shouting, come with me, my children, I will get you to safety. And he's getting the burning Fae to out of the way of all of this.
That fills my ruin track.
Yes.
So I will choose a second ruin condition, which is soulless, which I think provides me fictional positioning for remove my soul and hide it away.
Okay. No heart, no soul.
No heart, no soul. Rock and roll. And then I want to disappear using Fey magic to get to M.
All right.
But you can do that. You can come back to me on that if you like.
Well, let's have you power through darkness on that. I want to roll out of this because you're in a complicated state with a lot of magical wards and fury and fire all going around here.
Okay. So I think I have no tokens, and frankly, I don't think I've embodied heartless or soulless yet, so I'll just roll 2d6 flat.
Okay.
Oh, that's a 9.
That is a 9. So yeah, you can move with power and precision. You realize you could get to M, but Gazamak's also occupied doing this. His attention is entirely on that. It would be the work of nothing to get to him and give him a surprise.
Do you know, that is really very, very tempting. Yes.
Okay, so we will see you move. We can kind of see your outline, and then you shift and move over to where Gazamak is doing that.
And the shadows part with me just behind him.
Yeah. And the door thrums again, and you will hear the wailing sound. And I think there's a montage of sights across England, significant and magical, that explode in fire and fury, and the screaming mana rips out from the last of the earth in these places, draining them hollow and empty, and that magic is shooting towards Dragon Hill along the ley lines, as M swallows it all and grows stronger. Lissa.
So I got a question for you.
Sure.
If I fall over the edge into being a harbinger, can we have that finish up after the scene?
Well, I think that's part of this scene, isn't it?
I mean, it could be, but I want to be able to finish off M before.
Well, yeah, I think you. I mean, it just means that that you will. But becoming a harbinger means you want that door of power. Like it's not a question of worrying about M. Like going to harbinger means that you just want to rip open the world.
All right, so I'm going to use Let Sleeping Gods Lie, and I will mark 2 ruin and check the dream ends twice. I will wield the cosmic dreams of terror like the sharpest weapon and infect a specific vulnerable target with horrifying hallucinations and bring to life one of their nightmares. In addition, gain 1 bond with my true and cosmic form. And M is about to never sleep again.
He is not a vulnerable target. He is a harbinger.
Curses. All right. Well, I could still open another door and have another harbinger go after him.
Absolutely. You can tear open the reality here 100%.
Okay. You know what? I'm going to open the door of the twin moons, of gravity and stars and darkness and void. And I will spend 2 ruin to do that.
Absolutely.
Which pushes me over the edge into harbingerdom.
Okay.
Give me 2 seconds while I scroll back up here and take care of that. So there's another permanently marked condition. Ruin track is full. Take that bond. And oh, would you look at that? The condition that I mark sends me to my breaking point.
Yeah, that won't matter at this point.
Yeah.
So let's have you roll because you are attempting Unleash the Dark to deal more damage to him before you go over the edge.
I will spend 3 more darkness tokens, which leaves me at 0.
Okay.
Seven. I will spend. You know what? I'm going to spend multiple bonds.
Okay.
I have bonds with Egther. I get +3/+3 on each of those, correct?
Sure.
All right. I'm going to spend both of my bonds with Egther to push that.
Sure. So on 11 plus, your control falters. You go too far. Choose one, and the keeper describes an unintended consequence.
I'm going to get what I want from him. I want that door.
Interesting. So I think he will effectively, for the moment, wrench control of the door and the opening it away from him. And I think even as this, and it's not you, it's this thing that you sent that grabs onto it. And I think he will realize what is going on. And he is going to cause damage to you. And he's going to have you mark a condition.
Can't mark one.
Well, then you are out.
Yep. I am at my breaking point.
How you grab the door, you grab a hold of it there. You're on the edge of becoming a harbinger when this blast of magic comes through. Do you let go of the door, or do you keep the door and take it with you?
There is one thing. Egther is my heart.
Mm-hmm.
I hit my breaking point. They can choose to do nothing, allowing me to hit my breaking point and clear all their conditions. Or Egther can intervene and describe how they hurt themselves, how he hurts himself to protect me.
What do you think, Egther? Because even if you stop her, she's going to become a harbinger.
Yeah, I mean that
He can't get the door, Egther.
I don't think we
Yeah,
know that
I
she's gonna
mean-
become Harbinger.
Oh, I
Which is-
think it is very obvious to all of you that she is
Okay.
about
Yeah.
to go over the edge.
Yeah,
Think Dark
I-
Phoenix crossed with Silver Surfer.
Okay.
yeah. At that point, I can't protect her. It's, I mean, I assume I can't protect her from becoming a harbinger. So
You can keep her alive and let her become a harbinger.
I'm not going to do that. Sorry.
Lissa,
That's
what does
okay.
that look like?
So just to be clear, this is Lissa's death, correct?
Yeah, I think I've given you a chance to do Lissa's death and like moment of glory here. I mean, I think you could do like you can take the door out if you want. You can shut it. Like you can stop all this.
If you're okay with this bucket.
Oh yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah, or you could take out M as another way to stop all this. Like I think that your death, you have a choice there.
You know, I trust that the other. I trust at least that Egther can finish this job and get the door closed. I don't want to leave M around. I don't want to leave somebody who has tried to do that here.
So what does it look like when you and M both absolutely filled with awesome power and majesty, like it's mutual annihilation? Like, what does that look like?
The last thing I do is create a singularity right between us. And it draws both of us in, collapsing us into nothingness, and winks out of existence like nothing was ever there.
There's a look on his face when he's facing against you, and then he realizes what you're doing, and you see him try to pull back, that coat rippling in the wind, and then you're both gone. Egther, you see that vanishing there. But the door is still open, and now the power, I mean, it's gone wild. It is opened, and I think you'll see a figure running up the hill as you see Gazamak running to grab the control of the door.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to tell you what's going on. Like I wanted to tell you because I'm going to have Aisling go next. But this is the framework. You've seen Lissa die.
Yeah,
Your heart
Egther,
is gone.
yeah.
Aisling, what do you
yeah,
do? You've seen all of this. You, for a second, you thought the world was about to end. You saw in your mind's eye that Lissa could have torn this whole world apart and then gone, but that power is still flowing through there.
Yeah. But I also look at the play. I also end my fighting in the place where I threw away the figurine, and then as I just dodge the bullet, I like transport to it, and I I start feeling like a wave of magic coming off it, and I realize that we've missed one open ending of this. So, well, this has to be the last hurrah, and I quickly take out some pills out of my pocket and just swallow all of them, and I fall on the ground sleeping. I'm using my walk with me in the dreams.
Okay.
And I'm trying to stop Fake Queens from blowing up the magical bombs that they already shipped all over England.
So you're trying to repair the damage that's being done. Like you're trying to stop it from going
I'm
further?
trying to implant suggestion into them.
Okay.
That as per the move allows me.
So what is that? What is the role for that?
It's standard roll, so
Okay.
yeah, I'm just gonna add my remaining 2.
Okay.
And let's see. What? Okay. Again. 2d6 plus 2. Well, that
What-
is, well, I saw Lisa just die for this. And
Yeah, you can burn her bonds easily.
yeah, and also my family is, is in this fucking country somewhere. I'm also I think of both of them, Lisa dying for it, and my family may as well be in one of those explosions.
Do you have 3 bonds to burn total?
2. I only need 2.
No, you need to get to an 8 to 10.
And I'm at, wait, what did I roll?
You're at 5 right
5.
now.
Oh, damn it.
Do my bonds still count as +3?
I thought is that for everybody?
As far as I know, everybody. A few seconds, I'll scroll down and check.
Oh, damn it. Yes, you have that move. So I need only Lisa in that case. Lisa is +3. Yeah, I forgot about it. Thank you.
Yeah, it's and when somebody spends bond with me to modify a roll.
Yeah, perfect. So
Lisa died to save this country.
You will send yourself out and you will rush through the dreams of the Fae, of the queens who are here, who are staggering back, and you're showing them the cost. You're influencing them. You're pushing them back.
Yeah. Yeah, and even through it's like goes against my own nature, I will show them I will show them their I will let them dream of their youth when they were frolicking over Welsh hills, happily dancing under the Stonehenge and whatever fake we were doing in England, in actual Merlin times, partying with King Arthur. Just let them remember all the good times and just try to push them in the place where they don't push the button.
Yeah, I think that energy that's going out the door is still open and still a problem, but the catastrophic collateral damage that is going on, you turn the Fae to stop that, to become vessels for that magic, to move it back into place, to keep those explosions, and we will see the Fae standing in place with the power kind of running through them like conduits as they heed your words. Egther, there's Gazamak, and there's the door.
Can I help with that choice? Because you left me, I think, with a golden opportunity, didn't you?
Yep.
Because I would like to say that I behaved heartlessly, ignoring the fate of Albion, and went to Gazamak. I'll take 4 darkness tokens for that.
Absolutely.
And I want to reach out and just touch him.
Okay.
And invoke the lies that serve me. Declare a secret on a truth he wished to conceal, that we were ever enemies. and
Okay.
describe what lie or distraction will replace it. We are partners forever. And I'll roll 2d6 plus 3.
Okay.
Oh, a 3. So that gets me to 6.
6.
And then it's burn everything in sight. 7, Egther. He can handle the door. 8, the darkness within me. Together we make a bigger church.
Okay.
And Gazamak, there we go.
So you've got that 8 to 10 there.
I have.
And he, like, you touch him, hands off. It was what he tried to avoid for so long. And then you see him stop short and turns and looks back at you and goes, "Come, let us take this door."
Not yet. You know it's not right.
Egther, you see that. You see Suriel stop Gazamak.
Yeah. When Egther sees Lisa fall, or disappear, wink out of existence, he somewhere between a roar and a scream, and when he sees that the door is still there, it needs to be closed, he kind of wrenches he turns to wrench the sword out of the hand of the mummy, still piercing through him, and he rushes up towards the door in order to close it.
So let's have you power through darkness.
Yeah. I will spend
Bleeding, pierced, sobbing, running up to get to that door. Aisling has moderated the damage. Suriel has grabbed the one person of villainy who could take a hold of it.
Yeah. Spend 2 tokens, get a 6, but I have a bond with Lissa, so I will spend that.
What does it look like? What do you do to shut this door that has opened in the world?
Egther rushes up to the door, plants the hammer in front of it, and releases the shadow that Suriel planted in the hammer. And that rushes through the door and pulls it with it back inside.
Crackle. And then silence, moaning. The blooms on all the plants that are around all the trees that have bloomed, we see those like wither and fall to the ground. And it gets very quiet. Let's move to epilogues. Suriel, we're going to start with you.
I think I don't know whether Puckett wants a big do, but I think there is a wall of remembrance in Division, and I think we see Suriel and Gazamak and Weeper there, because kill the one being who can stop me. And I think, you know, I drift up on one side of Weeper, Gazamak drifts up on the other side of Weeper. And we're getting ready to finish Weeper. And Weeper turns to me and says, "Don't be silly. You enjoy this too much." That's me.
Nice cut. Aisling, look at your first, second, third day. Like, this mission went so wrong, and you managed to claw it back from the edge of despair. What do we see as your epilogue in the aftermath of all this, either in the immediate aftermath or down the road a ways?
Yeah, I think let's just continue. Oh yeah, I think we see Iceland coming into me coming into the orphanage and just inviting few of my friends or fellow kids from there, sitting them at the table. Well, I have been given permission to assemble my own teams. Well, what would you say? Are you in?
Nice. Nice. I imagine your uniform is a little bit different. It looks
Yeah.
a little more sophisticated.
Yeah.
Nice. Nice. Yeah, the same talk that Suriel gave them
yeah,
before.
yeah, oh, yeah. Yes.
That's great. Egther.
Yeah, Egther is in this huge cathedral with all the tombs, and we see him from behind as he's got a hammer and chisel, and he's chiseling, and then he steps back and brushes the stone flakes away, and he has built a tomb to Lissa in the tower.
And Lissa, what is the epilogue for you, or the memory of you, or a relation to you? What do you want for that scene? I'm giving you last word.
Miss Briska's in her office late at night. Probably has a bottle of single malt in front of her. Decently aged, 18, 21 years, something like that. 3 fingers in a cup. She's basically just doing some closeout paperwork. And as she closes the file in front of her and stamps on it, resolved, you can see my name on it. And then she feeds it into a slot, and you can feel the heat from an incinerator below.
I think her expression is neutral. She's neither pleased nor depressed. But she'll drink deeply, all of it in one shot. And that is where we're going to stop. Thank you all very much. I would like to do just a quick round of stars. Anything people want to say as last notes, thoughts about the session, or about the series in general, that you want to throw out there? Suriel, Alan.
I had great fun, I have to say. I enjoyed. I welcome because I'm task driven by
Yes.
nature. I enjoy a sequence of events I need to engineer, and thank you for giving me the space to do that. I enjoyed getting to the edge and not deciding not to cross it. The tragic Egther Lissa relationship story. That's what's going to get the credit at the Emmys. And Ailing, I just love the idea that you end up recruiting kids from the orphanage. That's just a
So
gift.
good.
That's a gift. And great pacing, though, as always. I enjoyed the characterization of Britain under the Tories. All too true. International audience, all too true.
Awesome. Tad.
Yeah, from the whole series. Yeah, let's start with Suriel or Alan. Yeah, amazing to play a character who's like clearly, to keep up the thing that someone's like clearly hidden villain, but like you're still like a valuable member of the team, and they are able to like operate with us, and like you kept the balance like whole time. I guess with help of the GM, obviously. So that I really liked it. Not everyone can keep this up like running. And yeah, for Lissa, like, that was a tragic story that I still don't know the beginning. I will probably watch the whole thing at some point. You know, it will give me like a month to get through it with my attention. And yeah, actor. Well, I mean, it is also a tragedy, but I guess a different kind.
Mm-hmm.
Of yeah, it was always I could feel that actor had this burden on him of stuff that happened and things like that. Yeah, I guess we ended him with like two tragedies and two like theoretically positive endings for characters. Something, yeah. And yeah, thanks again for everything from GMing. It was amazing. I had great fun.
Oh, good. I'm glad you enjoyed it. And thank you again for joining us, for coming in late and be willing to be flexible. And I know you had those misses, but I thought you hit the ground both times running, and it was really good. So just a joy to run for you. Andish.
Yeah, I want to echo what you just said about Tad. It's not easy jumping into a game that's already started and has run a few sessions. I think you did a great job of leaning into being the new character on the team. I think that worked really well. It was interesting to have that perspective, to see our characters more from the outside through your eyes. That was really cool. Yeah, Alan, you did a great job through the whole series with Surreal being this schemer and working on his plan. That was it's been really fun to follow that along. And Puckett, I really like how you were pushing for tragedy and really leaning into that. It was extremely enjoyable to have this relationship that was, will it work out, will it not, and having it end this way was really good. I very much enjoyed that. Lowell, you've been a great GM through the whole series. I really appreciate how you pushed the tempo in this last session, because we had a lot we had to get through, and you made sure that we didn't stop and smell the flowers too much, while still giving us room to have some very nice scenes that weren't focused directly on the plot. So I really appreciate it.
Awesome. Yeah, great stuff. The Hector Lissa stuff has been just a pleasure to watch throughout to see where he's going to go. Puckett, again, I'm going to give you last word.
I was thinking before the session started that I wanted to say something at the beginning about how much I'm going to miss this series because of how much fun it's been and how much I've enjoyed it. But we need to get playing. So now I'm saying it now. This has been just a fantastic experience all the way through. Tad, first time playing with you. I hope it's not the last. I really enjoyed what you did with Aisling. I'll echo what everybody else said about you coming in and kind of adjusting. And that's hard to do, especially when there are characters who already have stories and you're trying to figure out how to work yourself into existing stories, and how people are trying to figure out how to work you into new stories or new angles. So you did a fantastic job. Also, I can't help but like your screen name. Like I said long ago, I super believe in you, Tad Cooper. Alan, what can I say? It's always a pleasure to play with you. I loved to hate Surreal, and it seemed like you gave me a brand new reason to despise him every single session, and then pull it back just enough that it's like, okay, he's a scumbag, but maybe he's not, well, totally evil, I guess. Maybe. But absolutely, Surreal was the kind of character that if somebody was dating them, you'd say, why? Why do you keep doing that to yourself? Andish, I'm sorry that Egther is going to be alone. That was just, oh God. Like, before we went off on this mission, it's like, no, screw it, I'll go with you. This will be my last mission. I quit. And then to have it end up like this, even though I was absolutely pushing for something like this to happen, you know, just it seemed like Egther was so sad at the end. So heartbreaking. But you know, absolutely lovely to watch. Lowell, as always, great GMing. Thank you.
I enjoyed writing this. I really want to thank everybody for playing along, for being willing to keep as we go on the pacing of this, and being willing, especially as you go along. There's more and more moving parts as you go along, and there's the players have a lot of work on their hands. I think all of you did a great job with that. Going back, finding moves you hadn't gone to, building on moves that have clocks, all of that kind of stuff. So that was a real joy. And I'm glad we did a quarterly of this. It was really solid. So thank you all so much. I'm going to stop the recording.